Joining us on the phones right now, the new chairman of the Texas Republican Party, James Dickey. Chairman Dickey, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you. And yourself?
Doing well. I appreciate you appearing on the show today, and we extend a congratulations to you. I know you just what was it last week? You were elected, or week before last, June 3rd.
Exactly.
Yeah. So congratulations to you. Let's start off before we get into all the business of the Republican Party and what we're seeing statewide. Want to get your reaction to what we saw in Virginia this morning.
Obviously, it's heartbreaking. I was particularly I'm concerned about everyone, but it was particularly heartbreaking to see my own congressman, Roger Williams, there, who's not only my congressman but a friend. And I was grateful that his office has since released a statement that, yes, he had a minor injury, but he was not shot. One of his staffers, however, was. And thankfully, that staffer appears to not be in any kind of life-threatening situation. But there's a lot still that we don't know, and I don't want to surmise on anything or draw some incorrect conclusions. But at the very least, I think we should all agree that we should pray for everyone who's affected, families. So there were 25 congressmen there, plus staff, plus Capitol Hill officers, and we should pray for them and be thankful that the loss of life was not a lot worse. The injuries were not worse, but and also pray for our country. Yes. That we can return to some level of civil discourse.
Absolutely, and it's almost ironic because this baseball game between Republicans and Democrats, it's one of those, oh, look, everyone gets along. It's a baseball game. Everyone gets along. It's a bipartisan deal. You've got Republicans and Democrats who are having fun together, which we just don't see anymore, and now that's been harmed by this event.
Yeah, that's what's doubly ironic and frustrating about this. And we've got to be careful in how we respond so that we don't lose some of our own freedom and humanity and Americanness in how we respond to this. But we must respond. Absolutely.
We are visiting with the new chairman of the Texas Republican Party. For those who don't know, Chairman Dickey, what does the chairman of the Republican Party of Texas do exactly?
Well, the key role of the chairman is really to manage the relationships with all the constituencies, and that doesn't mean that you have to do it all yourself. In fact, it literally would be impossible for any one person to do themselves. But there are a lot of constituencies that depend on the party and would all be better off if the party were functioning at its highest level. So that includes our elected Republican officials. That includes Republican candidates. It includes the 254 county chairs across Texas who are working to make the Republican Party more effective and more influential in their local counties. It includes our board of directors, the 62 members of the state Republican Executive Committee. And in this case, right now, it also includes not just the Republican National Committee, but it also includes the actual White House, since we have a Republican president.
How do you think the Republican Party in Texas is doing right now? How healthy is it?
It's very healthy, and it's healthy for a lot of reasons. There is much more we can do to make it as engaging with all of those constituencies as it should be, and there's much more we can do to make sure it has the effectiveness and the influence that the grassroots and the elected officials all wanted to have, and the donors wanted to have. But yes, it is a powerful vehicle for the voice of the grassroots in Texas it needs to be maximized as such, and that's my mission.
When you decided to run for the position, I'm sure you had a few goals in mind, some things that you would like to see the party do. What are some of those goals? What are some of your personal goals, your ideas for the Republican Party here in the state of Texas?
Well, the biggest thing, because I think everything else flows from it, the biggest thing is I wanted to see the Republican Party being more effective and more influential, more of a player in Texas politics. In other states across the country, the party is much more of a factor in the Capitol, in races, and than we have been here in Texas. And so the first thing we did was start to speak out on behalf of our platform and our positions that we are hoping now in this special session to see serious progress on. And you will see a level of activity from the Republican Party in terms of communicating clearly what our members have said their goals are that we have not had before. From the excitement around that, from the taking a stand, from being visible, from defending our principles, we will then have more success with more elected officials. We'll have more success with fundraising. We've already seen that to some extent just in the first week and a half that I've been the chairman. And we will also see more excitement from the grassroots as their efforts to develop a platform, their efforts to make sure we are an open, transparent, effective party. As those efforts are rewarded and shown to have results, they'll be more excited as well.
How much travel's involved in the job? Are you going to be getting out to East Texas, West Texas, North Texas, and South Texas, and everywhere in between?
Absolutely. Fortunately, in my day job, there's actually a benefit to me being able to travel around the state. And so that part I'm looking forward to and committed to visiting every single one of the 31 Senate districts in Texas over the course of the next year, and I'm very much looking forward to doing that.
What would you say as far as on the county level and the relationship between the county chairs and the state chair, and how does that relationship work, and what's the dynamic between the individual, those 254 individual county parties and the overall state Republican Party? What's that dynamic like?
Right. Obviously, first of all, there are 254 county chairs, so I couldn't spend a lot of time with each one, but as someone who was just, as of 2 weeks ago, a county chair in Travis County here, I knew how much more I wanted to know what the state party's goals were and what the state party's activities were, and I had to be really proactive about finding that out. So starting with my first week on the job, I've started communicating with every county chair, putting out a report of what we've done the past week, what we're looking forward to doing, and trying to really elevate that relationship between the state party and the county party. Technically, they're completely separate. There's no chain of command kind of relationship. I just want us to be an effective team together, and I'm certainly going to do my part to make sure we are.
When you hear Democrats talk about turning Texas, at first it was turning Texas blue. Now they're going, maybe we can just turn Texas purple. Maybe we can do that first. And the Democrats are looking at Trump, and they believe that everyone's going to turn against Trump if they haven't already, that by 2018, all these folks are going to turn against President Trump. What's your message towards the Democrats in keeping Texas red going forward?
Well, first of all, I don't take any threat lightly. Right? The smart politicians know there's only two ways to run: unopposed or scared. And so every competition should be taken seriously. But my outreach to Democrats is to say, look at the success of Texas. We have a great economy. We have there are all sorts of comparisons that show that people are better off in Texas than they are in, quote, Democrat paradises like New York and California. And so since that is true, why not come on over and help us continue to make it better?
Visiting with Chairman James Dickey, the brand new Texas Republican Party chairman. For folks who want to get more involved in the Republican Party on the county level and on different levels. What's your advice to them? How can they get more involved?
I strongly suggest, and this is what we did in Travis County, look up your local county website. Just search for blank county Republican Party. Find your website, give that office a call, find out, have them look up whether there's already a precinct chair in your area, and if so, have them do the introduction to you to that. If there's not, go by their office and talk with them about becoming a precinct chair, or the other ways you can volunteer and be active in your area. We've had a lot of people do that, especially in the last year and a half. A lot of people wanting to make a difference, stepping up. It was exciting to see in Travis County, and I'd love to see it happening all across the state.
Very good. Chairman Dickey, a pleasure to talk with you this morning, and hopefully we'll visit quite a bit more here on the program.
Thank you very much, Chad. Look forward to it.
That's Chairman James Dickey, chairman of the Texas Republican Party.